everybody, Nick Marzock with Full Compass. This is Full Compass Spotlight. I'm with Jeremiah from Waves, and we have such an exciting product here. So the LV1 system has existed as a modular mixing platform for a long time, but let's talk about the LV1 Classic because you're entering the console chat now.
Yeah, for sure. So like you said, LV1 has been around for almost 10 years now as a mixing platform, and it's primarily been a software-based mixer with modular components where you're kind of in this world of building your own system. The LV1 Classic is taking all those things about LV1 and putting it into a classic form factor. So now you have the physical faders that are integrated directly with what's going on the screen. You've got built-in I/O and user keys and all the things that you'd expect from a full console format.
And what are the exciting things? Because obviously the first thing that jumps out at me is this beautiful display.
Yeah, it's 21.5-inch touchscreen, and LV1 is built to be very touch forward. You know, everything is just 1 or 2 clicks away, and I think that really plays into how intuitive the console is. It's very easy to navigate, whether you're a seasoned professional or house of worship volunteer stepping up to it for the first time. It's really quick to find your way around.
The thing I love about the LV1 system, the modular one, and now the Classic, it integrates with the Waves plugins. Like, I come from the studio environment, so this is like, I use the EV2, like that's the channel strip I use. It's all of the Waves plugins that I'm used to, H-Delay, C6, you know, all of the things that like I've grown up using, and now it's like available for live sound as well.
Yeah, I think that's kind of one of the really strong points about what Waves brings to the console market is our processing. You know, it's processing that people have been using to mix records for decades.
So you can import plugins. How many come with the console?
So I think there's 17 included plugins. There's some heavy hitters in there like Waves Tune Real Time, F6, Primary Source Expander, X Feedback. And then once you start getting to like the SSLs and the channel models and stuff like that, you've got the full library available to you to upgrade.
The interface is beautiful. It looks very intuitive. I know Waves is excited about that, but seeing it for the first time now, like I can tell what everything's doing before I've even used this in L1 system.
It's going to be very familiar to people who have used LV1 already. Just the interaction of the surface and the screen is very intuitive. We've got 16 faders plus a master fader. You've got 16 user keys, touch and turn, some user-defined buttons. If you want more surface, you can add 2 additional of the standalone fit controllers as well. So you can get up to 48 faders here, plus 3 assignable master faders.
Oh, that's great. It's scalable. Speaking of scalability, let's talk I/O.
Yeah.
In the back of this console, is that 1612?
There's 16x12s Ionic preamp stage box built into the console for local I/O.
All 16's Ionic preamp?
Correct. Yep. So there's also the standalone Ionic stage box. There's a 24-channel Ionic stage box as well. So you can expand up to 14 additional I/O units beyond what's on the surface locally. It's a 64-channel mixer. Every channel can be mono or stereo, so you get up to 128 audio source inputs onto the mixer. That goes beyond just the Ionic stage boxes as well. Anything that's SoundGrid compatible can be used as an expansion device for the console. So whether that's a MADI to SoundGrid interface or a Dante to SoundGrid interface, or even if you have a Waves card in a third-party console, that becomes expandable I/O for the LV1 Classic.
And I see on the back it also has USB ports, so you know, carrying shows, recall, saving. That.
Yeah, we've got SoundGrid connectivity on the back, and then we've also got the local host connectivity. So any peripheral devices, if you wanted to add an external touchscreen, if you want to add USB, keyboard, and mouse. We also have a built-in 16-channel recorder on this device now. So if you're trying to record stems or record your 2-mix, that's available directly in the mix interface, and that tracks directly to your USB drive. The other side of that is you can also play back playlist files from a USB drive directly as an input into the mixer.
Oh, that's awesome. Does it act as an interface as well if you wanted to record outboard into Pro Tools or any DAW?
Yeah, sure. So, you know, the SoundGrid driver is a part of the ecosystem for Waves, and that's just an ASIO driver that you can use on any PC or Mac, and use that as an audio interface into your DAW. So if you're using SoundGrid, that's going to show up as the driver for your DAW. This is going to show up as an I/O device.
Seems like the theme is like ease of use. The interface is super easy to use. You were showing me this is tap per tempo, which has a little metronome. Like everything that I would hope I would be looking at is right there. And it's super customizable, so it's modular. You can add faders, you can add I/O, and use it as an interface if you want to.
For sure, yeah. I think the whole idea with the way that LV1's designed as a mix interface is that everything is no more than 1 or 2 clicks away. You're not digging through submenus. If you've ever done a mix in a DAW, it's going to feel very familiar to you. Like everything's laid out in a very similar way. It's very intuitive. The expandability aspect of adding additional faders, adding additional touchscreen. You can do custom fader banks, so you can lay out the fader surface to be whatever you want. The faders can actually mirror. You've got 2 different on-screen mixers, and so it can mirror either one of those, or it can be its own standalone fader bank. So you really get 3 different fader banks to choose from between your 2 on-screen mixers and the fader bank. And then again, if you add the additional fit controllers as standalones, you can assign those independently as well. So let's say we wanted to look at input channels here, but then we wanted to live on our DCAs here. You know, we've got 2 different things available to us, and you can see here with the ghost faders, when I ride DCAs, it shows me the level of the DCA contribution to the input faders.
And everything works. The motorized, like it'll recall on those as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Wow. Also, just a note, because you can't obviously touch this, but very smooth and super responsive to the screen as well.
One thing to note is that this isn't just the standalone fit controller put into a box. This is a fully new design for the LV1 Classic. So it's a new fader for us. 100mm motorized Alps faders.
So 64 channels up to 128 if you're in stereo. With the Waves processing, like it can handle the processing power of Waves plugins across, you know, 128 channels essentially.
Yeah, so the built-in processing engine is going to be equivalent to like a Waves Extreme server if you're talking about the modular system. So it can handle a ton of processing, tons of plugins. You've got 8 insert points on every input, every output. Even the talkback channel has 8 plug-in insert points on it. So you really have no limits in terms of where you can put processing and how much processing you can do. And so when you start getting up there and you start, you know, demanding more in terms of DSP, you've got the expandability option of adding additional sound grid service. You can add up to 3 additional servers. Those can be additional Extreme servers. They can be Titans. Whatever the case may be, you can scale up the amount of DSP that's available to run whatever plugins you want to run. And you can also add 4 more servers if you want to put redundance on those primary processors.
The LV1 Classic by Waves. Call your rep at Full Compass. Full Compass is carrying this incredible console. 800-356-5844, or go to fullcompass.com for more information. Keep it right here at Full Compass for more great content.